Namandap, 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 nam.
Good morning. My name is Kiyomi Okazaki. This is my friend Luna Mua, and this is my brother Takeshi. Together, we'll be your chairs for this morning's Dharma service. Please join me in Gasho. Please put your palms together. From The Zen of Oz by Joey Green. The decisions life throws in your path aren't always as important as they may seem. Should you take the scenic route or the highway? Should you go to this college or that college? Should you take the job or not take the job? The decisions themselves are immaterial. What matters is that you make the choice, that you have the courage to move forward. Namo Amidaptsu.
Namo Amidabutsu.
Namo Amidaptsu.
Namo Amidabutsu.
Namo Amidaptsu.
Namo Amidabutsu. Namanda. Namanda.
Please rise if you are able for our opening gata, which will be Namo Amidabutsu, which will be shown on the monitors. Please remain standing afterwards for the reading of the three treasures on page 3, also shown on the monitors, led by Sensei Calvin.
Please join me in reading of the three treasures found on page 3 of our Purple Service book. Three treasures. Fortunate is it to be born into human life. Now we are living it. Rare is it to encounter the teachings of the Buddha. Now we hear it. If we do not seek the truth of the Dharma in this life, in what life shall we find it? Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in Buddha. May we all together absorb into ourselves the principle of the way to enlightenment and awaken within us our highest aspiration. I take refuge in Dharma. May we all together be submerged in the depth of the Dharma and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in Sangha. May we all together become units in true accord, in a life of harmony, in a spirit of universal brotherhood, freed from the bondage of selfishness. Even through ages of myriad of kalpas, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful teaching. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of the Tathagata's teaching. Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida.
Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida.
Namo Amida Butsu.
Namandat. Namandat. Namandat.
Namanda. Nam.
Please be seated.
Please join us in the chanting of Junidai found on page 25 in the service books and also shown on the monitors.
나붓 나만나붓 나만나붓 감니시끄노끝 묘도세이사이 노업보다이신 오죠 안나고 나만답 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 나만답
Please rise if you are able for the reading of Deep Mind displayed on the monitors, led by Reban Yuki, followed by his Dharma talk.
Two aspects of deep mind. Deep mind means deeply entrusting. It has two important parts. Deep awareness of the self. We believe deeply and clearly that we are ordinary beings who make mistakes and are caught in the endless cycle of birth and death. We have been wandering for countless ages with no way to free ourselves. Deep trust in the Dharma. We believe deeply and clearly that Amida Buddha made 48 great vows to help everyone by entrusting ourselves, letting go of doubts, and relying on the Buddha's power. We can be born in the Pure Land. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Please be seated. And can I have my slide up on the screen? Thank you. Good morning, everyone. And welcome to today's service. And nice to see you week or Sunday before the Thanksgiving. We are not having the service next week, so this is the last time I see you, November 2025, right? I hope you enjoy the holiday with your friends and families and whoever. Last Sunday, I was at LA, Nishi Honganji Betsuin. Have you ever been to LA Betsuin? Only few. LA Betsuin is big temple. LA Betsuin locates nearby the Little Tokyo in LA. So I was fortunate enough to stay at the Miyako Hotel in Little Tokyo, which has Shohei Ohtani's wall art outside. I was on the 10th floor, just behind Shohei's wall. So probably I was around his eyes or maybe helmet. But it's a really nice hotel, and I was surprised so many Japanese there. And then in front of the Miyako Hotel, they are now opening one of the ramen restaurants called Tenka Ippin, that is from Kyoto. And Tenka Ippin is really famous ramen restaurant from Kyoto. And I don't go there often, but when I get drunk, I don't know why, I want to eat Tenka Ippin ramen. So maybe I don't have to go there often, but yeah. I hope, but tastes good. So if you are interested in, please go LA and try their ramen too. So anyway, today is a Q&R, and I have received a few questions. And I thought these three questions are really important questions. So rather than responding to every questions today, I want to focus on one question today. And then next time, I don't know if we have a Q&R next month, but I will try to focus on another question next month. And since this was the first questions we received, I will answer it today. So, what does it mean to meet, encounter, and talk with Amida Buddha? What does it mean to meet, encounter, and talk with Amida Buddha? So, thank you very much for submitting this important question. So, 2 weeks ago, we had ministers continuing education at the Jodo Shinshu Center in Berkeley, California. And the Japanese ministers discussed the translation of several doctrinal terms. But before talking about this, there is a parliament of the world's religions, parliament of world's religions. And maybe it was 2015 or 16 or somewhere around that time, they held the parliament in Salt Lake City, Utah. So there is a convention center, and then there was a parliament at the convention center. But Salt Lake City Buddhist temple is right by the convention center. So we decided to hold Ojo Raisan workshop. Ojo Raisan is one of the most beautiful chantings of our tradition. So we had 7 or 8 ministers, few played gagaku music, and then we did the workshop. We had probably over 100 people attending the workshop. So it was really a nice experience to showcase our chanting, our style of chanting to those who come from different backgrounds. But first parliament took place in 1893. Shortly before the establishment of the BCA, or Buddhist Churches of America, in 1899. So Reverend Banryu Yatsubuchi from Jodo Shinshu was present at that parliament, along with 3 other Buddhist priests from different traditions. So, there was a presence of Buddhist priests at the parliament from the first time in 1893. But when I read the English translations of the Buddhist texts from this or that era, I feel the translators were still trying to figure out how to render Buddhist terminology into English. So as a result, Christian expressions were often adopted, and texts sometimes sounded like Lord Amida's grace and mercy, right? And then I believe I have shared this example before, but Christianity experienced a similar situation in Japan when they first came to Japan and attempted to translate Deus, a Latin word for God. So they asked the Japanese people who understand the Portuguese or Latin or something, and then translate it into English. So the translator suggested to use the word Dainichi. So missionaries began to use the term Dainichi to spread the teaching of Christianity. And then they were amazed by how sincere Japanese people seemed. They listen carefully and they put their hands together and say, "Oh, arigatai, oh, thank you for sharing this teaching." So whenever they heard the word Dainichi, they put the hands together and no. So missionaries thought their propagation would succeed in Japan. But things did not go quite as they expected. They began to wonder why, and eventually realized that Dainichi is the name of a Buddha. especially revered in Koyasan or Shingon tradition. So the Japanese people thought the missionaries were Buddhist priests from another country sharing the teaching in Latin or Portuguese. So this episode reminds us of the importance of translation and the need to avoid misunderstanding. That is why I try to refrain from using Christian terminology when explaining Buddhist teachings. So now, returning to the question, what does it mean here? What does it mean to meet or encounter Amida Buddha? So there are several kanji characters used in Japanese to express meet or encounter. So since we are speaking from a Jodo Shinshu perspective, Shinran Shonin, our founder, carefully chose different characters in his writings. So this character, atai or chi, literally means value. But this character is often used in sutras to express encounter. And in the preface of Shinran Shonin's masterwork, Kyogyo Shinsho, he uses this character and writes, ああ、偶然のご縁、多少にももう愛がたく。Our hard to encounter, even in many lifetimes, is the decisive cause of birth, Amida's universal vow. So, Shinran Shonin, being a brilliant scholar, chose a kanji with precision to express the nuance he wished to convey. So here he seems to emphasize that the encounter with Amida Buddha is a valuable encounter by using this character, chi. However, he suggested that this kanji be read as mou-au. Do I have mou-au? And this is a humble expression of au, meaning to encounter. And in English, encounter can suggest meeting someone unexpectedly, as if both parties are moving and happen to meet at one point. But according to the classical Japanese dictionary, au means it is not that one goes to meet the other, but rather that the other comes to one and one encounters them. So in Jodo Shinshu understanding, it is Amida Buddha who reaches us, allowing this encounter to happen. But still, what does it actually mean to meet or encounter Amida Buddha? So Shinran Shonin explains this clearly in Notes on Once Calling and Many Calling. This is one of his writings. 会うはもう会うという。もう会うと申すは本願力を信ずるなり。So, encounter means to entrust oneself to the power of the primal vow. Thus, in Jodo Shinshu, to encounter Amida Buddha means to entrust oneself to the power of the primal vow. And then, this is where translation can, become important. The word power is a literal translation of chikara, but I have always found it somewhat limited. So if you have listened to my previous Dharma messages, you may have noticed that I often use the expression working of the primal vow instead of the power of the primal vow. So this follows some Jodo Shinshu scholars in Japan who explains hongan riki, or the power of the primal vow, as hongan riki no hataraki, meaning the working of the primal vow. I know this is real difficult, but if you don't get it, don't worry about it. Right? You can go home, watch YouTube again, over and over again, and then maybe click one day. I don't know. So consider how the kanji power or chikara is used in power, generation in Japan, like nuclear power plants, thermal power plants, hydraulic power plants, wind power plants, right? It refers to power, right? It does refers to power, but it is through the working of nuclear or thermal, hydraulic or wind energy that electricity is, produced, right? So what we receive through the power or working of the primal vow of Amida Buddha, it is shinjin, entrusting heart, which becomes the cause of our liberation from the realm of birth and death. So this working of the primal vow manifests as the call, Namo Amida Butsu. So as I previously explained, Namo Amida Butsu can be understood in two ways. One is from the Buddha's side, and the other from our side. From the Buddha's side, Namo Amida Butsu, it may be hard to see, but Namo Amida Butsu is Amida Buddha calling us to entrust ourselves to the working. And it is also the testimony, encouragement, and recommendation of all the Buddhas. If we entrust ourselves to this working of Amida Buddha, we'll be okay. And then from our side, sorry, Bobby, I'm changing the slide. From our side, Namo Amida Butsu means recognizing the real arrival of Amida Buddha's working. So another term that can be difficult is the word primal in primal vow, right? As you know, Buddhism is the teaching of cause and effect, interdependence, right? So if I go too deeply, today's talk will become too long, but all bodhisattvas aspire to become Buddha, and then they establish vows to fulfill to become Buddha. Such as when I become Buddha, I fulfill so and so. If not, I will not become Buddha. These are the kind of the styles of the vows. And then there are the 4 universal vows shared by all bodhisattvas, as well as individual vows describing what kind of Buddha they aspire to become. So when Amida Buddha was in the causal stage as Bodhisattva Dharmakara, 48 vows were established. When we read Deep Mind, there were words like 48 vows, right? In this sense, primal vow refers to the vows established at the causal stage before the attainment of Buddhahood. But since primal also carries the meaning of essential or fundamental, the term specifically refers to Amida Buddha's 18th vow, which vows to liberate beings of shinjin, entrusting heart, and nembutsu, regardless of their abilities or qualities. And this vow assures that ordinary beings deeply burdened by afflictions can attain Buddhahood while still carrying those afflictions. So to recognize the arrival of Amida Buddha's working means to accept that this vow was established for a being like me, one full of afflictions. And with humility, modesty, and reverence, we receive this working in Namo Amida Butsu and recite Namo Amida Butsu in gratitude. So this is what it means to meet or encounter Amida Buddha. We are not seeing Amida Buddha in person and say, oh, hey, Amida Buddha. No, it's not meet or encounter Amida Buddha in our, expression. To meet or encounter in Amida Buddha in Jodo Shinshu is to entrust ourselves to the working of Namo Amida Butsu. That is to meet or encounter Amida Buddha. And finally, the question was asking about talking with Amida Buddha. It doesn't mean having an actual conversation with Amida Buddha, but I often use the expression, a voiceless conversation with Amida Buddha. Voiceless conversation with Amida Buddha. When I get upset at reckless drivers on the road, or when I feel greedy while looking at musical instruments online, I feel as if I'm having a silent exchange with Amida Buddha. Almost like Amida is saying, hey, Yuki, this is exactly why I established the 48 vows. Because of you, right? So through this calling in Namo Amida Butsu, I recognize, perhaps that driver really needs to go bathroom. Or maybe, expecting the baby, so they are rushing to the hospital, right? So my self-centered perspective shifts or, changes towards consideration of others. So this is the life of Jodo Shinshu Buddhist who encountered the working of Amida Buddha instead of always having the self-centered mind by receiving or acknowledging the arrival of Amida Buddha's working. We shift our way of thinking and consider about others' emotions and feelings. So this is what I mean by talking with Amida Buddha. Okay, so I hope this has answered the question. And today is the fourth Sunday of the month, so we will have a Dharma exchange after the service. So we can, further discuss about the teaching or whatever you want to discuss. Okay, so thank you very much for coming to today's service, and please join me in a show. Please put your palms together. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda. So today, as you see, I brought my bass guitar and my gear here today, and then I always try to be the first one to do something. And then I never heard of Buddhist minister play heavy metal in the Hondo, right? So I did play a few songs of heavy metal already, but I don't think any ministers, Ron, can I have my slider back again? I don't think any ministers or Jodo Shinshu ministers played one of the songs from Dream Theater. And do you know this band, Dream Theater? And then if you know Dream Theater, and then if you hear me saying, I'm going to play a song called Dance of Eternity, then you'll be surprised, what? Are you able to play that? That difficult. This is really, really difficult. And I have to move my fingers almost all the time. But the reason I like Dream Theater, the song is really challenging to play. And then also, bass player is Asian American, John Mayan. He is amazing bass player. And even though he's playing like a really difficult line, he's like really cool and but amazing bass player. So I aspire to be like him, but I'm not the John Mayan, so I don't think I can play like him. And I was telling Kelvin this morning, 25% chance of being able to play without mistake. 25%. So please be kind, gentle. But please allow me to get ready to play. So the reason I picked this song, the title, Dance of Eternity, this kind of reminds me of the transmigration or cycle of birth and death, which I talked about, right? So Dance of Eternity. Then also reminds me of importance of keep practicing, right? I encountered this song 25 years ago. Then, I forgot to talk about, do we have time, right? So a few days ago, I received a text from a university friend saying like, I'm in San Jose now. Is Sacramento close by? And he is from Japan. So he was in Brazil for business, and then he stopped at San Jose. So he was saying, is Sacramento close by? And kinda. So I said, okay, I gonna drive, and then we had dinner together. But that friend, we often played Dream Theater songs as bassist and drummer. And we tackled this song once, but it was too difficult. So, we gave up. But after 25 years, I kept practicing it. And today, maybe I did like maybe 40% accuracy, right? But, if I keep practicing it, maybe one day I can, play like 100%. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Yuki. Please welcome Miss Sandy Kadoka Fong to has a special presentation.
Morning, everyone. I know Reverend Yuki's been practicing this particular piece because if you follow him on his Instagram channel, and I think he had some on YouTube, you can see him jamming him. He was seriously practicing. It's pretty amazing. So thank you very much for sharing that with us, Sensei. Can you believe it's been a year since we've had our 125th anniversary? Like almost to the weekend, actually. We had a celebration at SASF. We all enjoyed dinner and company. But it's also the anniversary of the 200 Miles of Compassion run. Actually, to the date, it's 1 year. The actual run finished on a Saturday last year. And this event was a run that David Thal, who is a member of the Fresno Betsuin, he offered to run from Fresno to Sacramento to commemorate our 125th anniversary last year. And we turned this into a fundraiser for Nate Imura and Mama Bears, which is a organization that helps supports families who are dealing with their children who are battling cancer, childhood cancer. But I wanted to show, Ron, would you mind queuing up the video, please? I want to recap this run that David made last year to commemorate.
And this walk of David's raised $40,000. Okay, now can we ask you, how are you doing?
We are fortunate today to have as our guest David Thal. Would you mind standing? He drove today, though. Aaron, would you like to come up? I'm bringing Aaron up right now to say a few words as he's coming up. Fresno is also celebrating their 125th anniversary. Is that this year or next year? Next year. So somebody want to run 200 miles Sacramento back to Fresno? Or maybe we get 200 people run 1 mile? It might be more my pace for sure. Aaron, I'm going to turn this over to you.
Hey, thanks, Sandy. And thank you too, Koichi, for bringing this idea up. And, gratitude beyond words, David, for what you did to help support my family through this. And to you, the Sangha, thank you so much for your support. We had over 400 donations to support us. And not even a week later, Nathan was admitted to UC San Francisco Children's Hospital, where he stayed from November 29th through March 17th, 2025. In this process, he received a bone marrow transplant, stem cell transplant, where they had to knock his immune system down to zero. Even the slightest bug would potentially be fatal for him. And throughout this process, there was times when I can't look at my family right now. But there were times when, Nathan would be laying in bed, and I would bring up David's run, and there were 400 people that were in support of him. And this is truly the silver lining to this, is organizations like Mama Bears Fighting Childhood Cancer, and the ability to display the compassion and community that it took to support us was the fuel to keep us going at times throughout this process. And we would look at the GoFundMe page and notice the donations, and it wasn't so much the monetary amounts, but the thought and the love behind those donations was the fuel to keep us going through those dark times during this process. And I just want to extend my gratitude beyond words. Namo Amida Butsu. And thank you very much.
Thank you. That was really nice. And Erin didn't say it, but Nate's back in school, so that's pretty amazing. But thank you, David, for joining us today. And to the Sangha, the Sacramento community, thank you for all your support.
Thank you, Miss Sandy. Please join me in closing meditation. Please put your palms together. From Everyday Suchness by Sensei Gyomei Kabuse. Buddhism teaches a man to stand up by himself and walk by himself. The teaching makes a man independent and free. All the teachings are like a pointing finger that points the way. But we have to walk. No one walks for us. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Please be seated. Oh.
If there are any first-time guests in the audience, thank you for joining us this morning. We hope you enjoyed service and hope to see you back soon. Thank you also to Reba and Yuki for leading today's service, and thank you to Minister's assistants, Sensei Grace, Sensei Calvin, and Sensei Keith. Thank you also to our AV Tech specialist, Mr. Ron Ishimoto, and thank you to today's greeters, Mr. Stephen Jang, Miss Shannon Suo, and Miss Karen Adachi.
At this time, are there any announcements?
All right, good morning, everyone. In the spirit of keeping up with this beautiful, wonderful music, for those of you that don't know, David Thull is not only a runner, he is also a musician as well. You can see his clips on YouTube. But we are hosting a wonderful, wonderful musical concert event here. It's going to be on December 6th, so just in a couple weeks. It'll be here on Saturday in the afternoon, so you can still come. There's daylight hours, no excuses. It's not too dark to drive. It'll be at 4 p.m. We're going to do it right here in this Hondo. We have a wonderful collection of artists. Reverend Yuki will be performing. You'll have 3 generations of Mizushimas performing as well. I got my dad to come, so if you want to check that out, please come. We should have a slide right up here. Tickets are extremely affordable, and there's also a pay whatever you can option. So if you have 7 kids, you can bring them all. It'll be no problem. So please come out and support this and the wonderful musicians and artists that are coming from all around different temples. And let's have just a wonderful, wonderful concert event. So we hope to see you there in a couple Saturdays.
Good morning. I'm Cheryl Inoue, and I represent the Board of Trustees. Rediscover, Reengage, and Revitalize. This is our 2026 membership campaign, rolling back dues to pre-pandemic rates and adding additional benefits, including complimentary membership to our Buddhist affiliate organizations and discounts to our programs and events. All members that sign up by January 31st will also receive a very special gift. You should have received your membership packet in the mail, and you can either return it to the office or sign up online. We also have a membership table in the classroom after service to answer any questions you may have. In addition, our first annual New Year's Eve prime rib dinner. Please join us immediately following the 6 p.m. Joyae New Year's Eve service. This is a wonderful time to reconnect and catch up with Sangha friends and family and enjoy a prime rib salmon or vegetarian pasta dinner, which includes salad, dessert, soft drinks, beer, and wine, and $45 for members, $55 for non-members. And we welcome everybody and hope to see you there. Thank you.
All right, hi, Ron, can I have the Eco Sangha slide, please? All right, so one of the things that I am trying to get started at the Buddhist Church of Sacramento is an Eco Sangha group. So the Buddhist Churches of America has a organization-wide initiative called Eco Sangha, which is broadly intended to make the Buddhist Churches of Sacramento, make all of our Sanghas a greener place to be. So my vision for this group has been as sort of an advisory group where we would be advising the Board of Trustees and various steering committees around the temple, and we would undertake projects to green the Sangha a little bit more. And then also just act in Sacramento as a group of volunteers where we could, participate in projects around the city, as well as do a little bit of nonpartisan environmental advocacy. I'm hoping to, once we get enough people going, right now we're kind of acting a little bit asynchronously, but I'd like to eventually get to monthly meetings, and then we can have some projects going in the Sangha and around the wider community. We welcome everybody. If you've got, skills and interests and passion for sustainability, you're absolutely welcome to join us. And so this QR code here links to a Google form where you can, tell us a little bit about what you're interested in doing around the Sangha, what skills and passions and talents that you'd like to use in service of that. And yeah, so just if you'd like to join us, please just, take a picture of the QR code, and hopefully we can get a movement going here at Sacramento Betsuin to make to make this temple a little bit of a greener place to be. Thank you.
Hi, Kiyomi.
Hi, Luna. Wait, where did these uniforms come from?
I don't know, but it's getting a lot colder lately, and you know what that means. We get to build a snowman! No, not around here we don't.
Oh, man. Well, cold weather does mean people get sniffles, though.
That's right, and that's why Girl Scout Troops 56936 and 56944 are holding a tissue drive.
We are collecting new and unopened size tissue packs, like this one. Please drop off any donations to our super cute donation box in the hallway and the front office.
New and unopened tissues only. Please don't bring us your used tissues.
Donations are being accepted until December 20th, after which we'll be donating them to our local seniors.
We appreciate and are grateful for any support you can give us.
Thank you for supporting Troops 56936 and 56944. Now let's go build that snowman.
And then also, the annual Girl Scout Craft Fair will be taking place on Sunday, December 7th from 9 to 1 in the Kaikon. Stop by to browse and do some Christmas shopping of items created by our Girl Scout troops. All proceeds will go towards supporting Girl Scout Troops 569 activities.
This fundraiser will take place in the conjunction with the fried rice and karaage chicken fundraiser. Pre-orders are being taken until December 4th. See the flyer on the temple's website to place your order. Thank you in advance for your support.
Okay, so refreshments today are in classrooms 1 and 4, and they were provided by the BWA.
Thank you for attending. This will conclude this morning's service. You are all invited to offer incense.